Hello, hello. Yes, back again, back on the road again, as usual. If you are a frequent listener, you know that I make all my podcasts in the car. And if you're new, welcome. And of course, if you're a frequent listener, welcome too. I'm, for all of you, very, very grateful you are listening and really grateful for your presence and your time. And yeah, maybe if you're wondering, why is she making a podcast in the car and kind of almost always. Now, that's the only place where I sit still. And it's also the place where I get easier into kind of trance state, because I've just straight high road to ride, so it's straight. So yeah, and I have no distractions of other people or things to do. So this is then the moments often that I get insights, downloads, that I think about things, wonder about things, and then sometimes I think, I want to share in words. Sometimes I make posts of it, so I make a note or a little voice note, and then later I make a post, social media post. And sometimes I really want to give it words spoken, because it's still kind of wandering in my head. And by give it words, it comes to life and it sinks more in. And so I do it also for myself. And by sharing it, because sharing is caring, maybe it resonates with somebody else. Or maybe it triggers somebody else. And can it be inspiration, healing for somebody else? And it's also inspiration and healing for me. So it's not that what I'm saying is really the truth, or that you have to do something with it, but it is maybe like just sharing and wondering, and maybe therefore it gets more alive, more real, more truth. And it can make a ripple effect if it resonates with you, and maybe you can share it, what it brings you. And maybe we do it not like in a podcast or in post, but you do it just in life, because you heard something I was saying and it resonates with you, and in another talk with somebody else and chat with somebody else, you share what you heard, maybe with intention, maybe just unconscious, you know? So sharing is really caring. So I'm really interested in you too, in your wondering, in your thoughts, in your feelings, and maybe what this podcast do with you. And so share too. There's an invitation to share back, because that can inspire me too, and maybe I inspire with that somebody else too, so we can make that ripple effect bigger. Because yes, we are social beings too. We need also connection and sharing, for living life, for growth, for expansion, for healing, for being really alive. We need our own individual energy, but we also need the connection so we can share and care. And because in the end we are all the same energy, we are one. Even you are one with the person you don't like. But in the end we come from the same energy, the same source, the same field, the same God, the same universe, give it a name. But the same cell. But we are also really individuals too, with our own persona and our own human experiences. And by sharing that, we can learn from each other, because we are one big organism. Like, we are also part of the nature, Mother Nature, and the Earth, and all the beings in this Earth, on this Earth. We are one big breathing organism who has its own place here, but we sometimes don't live the place we are meant to live, our authentic selves. And it's a paradox. Like, we cannot be authentic by only being on ourselves. We need also the connection, but we don't need to be lost in that connection, so we lose ourselves. So it's a really thin line in being your own authentic you, your true self, in connection with the other. And that's, for me, where Tantra is about. Getting connection with yourself, your true self, and really from that true, authentic self, and being really connected and rooted in that, rooted through the body, rooted to your energy body, rooted with your soul, and really with your life force energy, your Kundalini energy. Then you can really connect with the worlds around you, with the earth, with all the beings on the earth, also the human beings, and the fields, give it a name. Because you can then also really connect with the other, and you can see beyond their behavior. You can maybe see really their true selves, even if they don't express it totally yet. And therefore, connection can be really true connection from a rooted place, and from being really you. That connection and seeing the other true selves beyond their layers can be very, very healing. So we have the power to heal ourselves, because you have to do the inner work yourself. But we need the connection, and we need the duality, we need life to, how can you say that, to really see what you have to heal, what you have to put out of the shadows. to be really your true self. So healing is maybe also not a good word for it. I think it's just remove all the layers that you put on yourself for any reason in childhood and later on as protection of self, protection of your heart, protection from pain that creates a behavior. And in all the things that happens in life, in that duality with things that happen, events, with people, that can give insights, can give mirrors where you can reflect on and can do work on your shadow work to remove the layer to get that true self more alive again. And like your shadow, what's in your shadow is not always dark. It's not always negative. I don't believe it dark. Like, that's also a label, but negative is also a label, but we have labeled it like in my shadows can be also something that is not seen yet by myself, and even eventually not, also not by others, or sometimes already a little bit by others, but I don't see it myself. It can an annoying thing like maybe workaholic, for example. And some people don't see it themselves that they are workaholics, so it's in their shadows, and it's not in the good way anymore for them. But it can also be that they're in their shadows, that they are very like sensitive in a good way, so they can feel other people really good. They are compassionate, but they put that away because they can deal with the sensitivity yet. So they have put it away and become maybe a little bit hard. So that hard is in the light, but in the shadow is that softness of that compassionate. So it may be a hard workaholic man or woman, but in fact there's also that soft and want to chill out man or woman, you know? But so maybe some others can see it already in that person, or it gets confronted with things in his or her life that it has to look from, hey, what's triggering me? Hey, who is triggering me? What tells that about me? And then you can put that in the light and decide if you need that behavior still, or need it in another way, or don't need it at all anymore. You can put it back in the shadows because you don't need it, and you know it, but you don't need it. Like in my shadows, for example, that I want to kill people. Huh? Yeah, of course, everyone has that dark thing in his or her, because we are animals, we want to kill. But it's not really helpful. It's not what I really want, because it's not what my being wants, so it's not part of me. So it's very deep in the shadows, and it can stay there because, yeah. And it will not come up in a wrong way, but some people it does, because there's no trigger on it. I just totally accept that the feeling can be there, but I don't choose it. Yeah? And this is of course a really strange example, but it is. really. Yeah? So if it's in the light, you can choose what to do without it. So you're not being used by that like trauma, used by that coping mechanism, but you can choose how to use it. So you become empowered. And that's healing. And so We don't have to go always back to the past with our mind and going into childhood. That are also, and now I'm going to say maybe something that can trigger. It's also just a story. It's also just a permission slip for us now to heal, because we are always able to choose what serves us the most or the best, and to choose who we want to be. But our mind, our ego, is telling us a lot of stories that we have to heal first, that we have traumas, and that we have to bring up all that childhood stuff and traumas. But hey, if every thought is just a thought and just stories we make up in our mind, who says that the story about your past is the truth? Because all our thoughts are mostly not true, our own truth, but it's not the truth. It's maybe even not happened. You know, I have a different past story than my sister, and we just are 2 years. I'm 2 years older, so we have kind of the same past, except that I'm 2 years older, but 2 years younger. But that's another story. But you know, and she remembers total different things than I, and also like almost the same things, but just it has hit her differently, and that's so that's a way to look at it. So it's like we make stories of it. So that trauma is also just a story. So if it's just a story, we can just choose to not tell that story anymore. But then we have a belief in our system and our ego, because, yeah, I don't know why, wants to believe in the story because it serves the ego to stay safe. Because that's what the ego wants. It wants to stay safe. It's so afraid. And yeah, our body follows our mind. So our body is afraid. So we are living that story over and over and over again. So we're not living in the now, we're living in the past. That's not really true, because that story so annoying. So what if we just choose another story? And yes, we are capable of that, but we don't believe that. So we need permission slips that we have to do trauma work, and that we have to do inner child work, and blah di da di da di da di da da da. And yes, don't get me wrong, I do that work too, and I've done that work too. But I'm now also in the place that I think, yeah, but if everything is a story, and I am always, every moment, a different person, that's also a very interesting one. So who says that the story is true? So if I can doubt that story, I can also just choose another one. And it's not that I put away my pains, but I choose to, yeah, see it as a story, and that it has hurt me, or that it was important for me, or that it makes me do things or don't do things. And then I can say, maybe if it's just in a story, I can just feel it, what it did with me, that story, and I say, yeah, but I can choose different now, because I am a grown-up person with a very strong, big heart that can feel everything, and I am grounded on Mother Earth, and I am connected with the field, and I am connected with life, and sometimes connected with people that I trust just to share. And I have self-preservation, zelfbehoud in het Nederlands. Self-preservation, dat was het. So, yeah, I'm also safe in myself. And then there's also 555 and 333, so I think I'm telling the truth. But 88. Okay. Back to the story. There's also that our lives are millions of timelines. It's a big web of timelines. And that we constantly shift timelines with everything we do, with every decision, with every thought and frequency we get with that, and the decisions we make of that. So we literally are every moment a different person. So that means that different person has also a different timeline and a different past. Or there's no past, because that was just another timeline. And the timeline it's not linear, it's like this. So, how can I say that? It can sound really crazy, but, and I still wondering about this, but I feel something in myself that I think, yeah, but how? That's my mind. And how do I explain? But I cannot really give words to what I feel from, yes, I understand, I feel, I resonate with it, but I cannot make it logical, because it goes beyond the mind, because it are just millions of timelines happening at once. So there's still a timeline that I am a little child somewhere, but I'm also the 39 person. Yes, I am. But there's also a timeline already that I am a 80-year-old. And they're all happening at once, but but because we are energy and we are everything, and we constantly shift those timelines, so it looks linear. But with every thought and every decision, I shift to another timeline. So there's also, like, now for example, I'm in the traffic. I'm driving, and I'm driving straight, and maybe now I want to decide, I'm going to the right. But it's also still a timeline that I still keep driving straight. And that's a simple example. But so there's a timeline in me that it's driving just in the traffic jam and go straight and go sit in the traffic jam and get all kind of experience here. But there's maybe also one that has chosen to go to the right and take a detour, and have all kinds of different experiences there. But why I am experiencing this one? Because I don't know. Because I choose to be more in this energy frequency than in the other one. So, and they're all happening. They're all possibilities. So that means that my past is not my past, because I'm a different person every time. So the past doesn't exist. And one of our big stressors is that we project the past at our future. So not living in this moment. And keep in a kind of loop. So what if trauma is just a trend, the trauma trend, and the healing hype, and that's really where we are in now. And it's kind of triggering if I'm saying that, but I really felt it for a while, that I was thinking, of course, I did a deep dive into healing and into trauma work, and then I was in the middle of it, and digging, and I was after a moment I was really like, what am I doing? What the am I doing? Why am I digging? I'm not living. And who is saying that this is the way? And everyone is saying, yeah, we really have to look your trauma because then you heal and then you get better. But better? So I'm doing that because I think I'm not good enough, and that I can't live if I don't heal. But what if it's the other way around? We're already good enough, and we can live. We don't have to be fully healed to live fully. We heal by living fully. So don't dig just to dig into the past, into the trauma. Don't go on that trend. But yeah, then a lot of people get triggered by that inside, and I was thinking, yeah, maybe I'm wrong, and then I dove down in the trauma work again. But it didn't feel good. It was, oh, everyone is so, like, it's now kind of identity to heal. That's another story. I am healing. I am processing. I have a trauma. I am do my inner child work, and oh, my inner child is not feeling safe. Oh, I am triggered by you. Oh, it's another story. Fuck. It's again a story. We make another identity. Our egos are so fucking smart. They just take this again to stay in power. The trend, the trauma trend, it's again. And then I was listening to a man who's channeling, and I don't know exactly what he's channeling, but higher conscious, our higher conscious, because we have one big higher conscious, and that exactly what I was saying was being said there, like that's kind of trauma work here now is a kind of permission slip for us now to reveal our true selves, but that's also just stories again. So we don't need it because again the past doesn't exist, and we are every time a new person, new frequency. So the only thing we have to do is willing to live true authentically and following your highest excitement, your passion, your joy, and then life itself and the duality of life itself here and all the others around you will guide you by really guiding you, by triggering you. So what you have to look at for yourself, have to heal for yourself, have to change for yourself, to transform for yourself, to really live your true self, authentically self, living your excitement. So then you see what's holding you back, unbelief in yourself, because when you're triggered by life, by persons, you can look at yourself and, hey, what is this telling me about me that I don't really follow my excitement or really live my true authentic self, that I'm not really being myself? What is the belief in me that's holding me back from doing that? That only reveals by duality. So we have to look beyond that duality, because we are non-dual and life itself is non-dual, because we need both. We need the black and the white, the hot and the cold, and the warm, the white and the black, and the light and the dark. You know, the man and the feminine, the masculine and the feminine, hate and love, pain and pleasure. To reveal ourselves. So yeah, let's take a look to our stories we make. And maybe let go of that ego identity story of that we need to heal, that we have traumas. Because that's a big, that's the trauma. The big trauma is what we have. It's so simple. The trauma of separation, the illusion of separation. So we come back to that connection again. So connection is really healing. But first connect with yourself. Feel the wholeness of yourself. And from that state we can connect with the wholeness of life. So with your dark and with your lights, that doesn't really is there because you are one, you're whole. But if embrace that yin yang, embrace that, because it's just labeled as good or bad, but it is just is. And so let go of that identity, that healing identity, that trauma identity, and go for really living life to the fullest, authentically. Open your heart, living unconditional. And that doesn't mean without boundaries. But living unconditional is that you let yourself and the other following his own path with his own lessons. Life will teach us. Duality will teach us. We don't have to go only to the past to heal. We can also live here and now to the fullest and have that intention. And that intention will bring healing. And I know maybe this is triggering, that you really believe in trauma work and really believe that you have that inner child's work. But your ego is just a little child, frightened child that wants to protect you, to protect itself. And yeah, if you have experienced a lot in your past, and I have that too. Everyone has, and some big things, and some people has less big things, and that's also, it's for everyone big, but you know what I mean. Like if you have really abuse or rape, that's bigger trauma than maybe a teacher was saying you can't not do math. Like I had a teacher, still it's in my head that I cannot do math, but it's not really bothering me, not really. So yeah, so you know what I mean. But I also have different other things like, but that's not. I don't want to bring it up to the now, because it's a part of a timeline of me that's not me anymore. And yes, it shaped me, but that all has also, that's also triggering on a reason. Everything in life is just is. It has no meaning. Life is meaningless. Oh, that sounds heavy. Yeah, but listen. Life itself is meaningless. But we have the power. Now I saw car 777, so this is true again. We have the power to give it meaning. Now, what do you choose? Positive meaning in, positive results out. Negative meaning in, negative results out. So, you have that power. You have that power. You got the power! Ooh, yeah. But really? So, okay. Okay, and don't bypass things. Hey, 666. Okay, I'm really aligned at the moment. Okay, but, okay. I don't say ignore pain. Don't bypass pain. Feel it, allow it, see it as a part of a timeline of you. And then when you have felt it, then live it and just let it flow through you. Your heart is strong and big enough to let it flow through you. Then when you come into a calmer state, you can look at it and say, okay, but that's a story. And I choose different. What can I learn from it? What's the message behind it? What for meaning can I give it? So I don't say bypass. Nee, go through. But don't make it your identity. So no, don't stay in that story. That's, I think, the big message. You can choose. You can choose your story. You can choose your timeline. So is that not an empowering insight? And that you don't have to heal fully to live fully, but that's the other way around. That you have to live fully, wanting to live fully, you will heal fully. And there was something popping up about that life is meaningless. Then that we have the power to give it meaning. It's gone. So maybe it will come back later, and I will make a new podcast about that statement. Life is meaningless. Like also your past has no power until you give it power. By bringing it back to the now, or even to project it on the future, then it has more power because you are in worrying. And that's the only thing when we're not really living, if we are worrying and so stressing. So no, don't worry about missing anything. Only worrying makes you miss everything. That's a big paradox. So maybe we have to turn something in that healing hype, in that trauma trends. And I really believe in that we have to remove our layers, our stories. But I don't think we have to dig down, but we have to climb up. And that we have to just let the deepest wound go. The wound of the illusion of separation. And by connection, by real true connection, where nobody is losing himself or herself in the connection, but is from a place of self in the connection, we can heal that wound of separation, the illusion of separation. So know that you're safe in yourself, that you can hold yourself. That trust in your own self, in your strong big heart, and your wise soul, and your even wiser higher self that's connected with all the higher selves. And know that connecting with another true self is very healing. Even healers are not healing you. We are not healing each other. We send out a frequency that another can choose to calibrate with, so the other can heal him or herself. So yes, we heal to do our own inner work, heal between marks. It's like I think we rise up, we remove layers by doing our work and let go of the stories and choose different. We have that power, we have that capability. We don't have to do everything in deep, dark processes. We don't just let go of identification, which whatsoever. You are always a brand new person. Always. You can choose your story. And we heal, we rise, we become more our true selves by connecting, letting go of the illusion of separation. So it's again a paradox, the individuality and the connection. But it is a dance between that. Like life is a dance between the yang and the yin, the masculine and the feminine, the Shiva and the Shakti. And not between the woman and the man, eh? That's gender. But energy. The dance between light and shadow. And as I said, not everything in the shadow is dark. Or, and not everything in the light is love. And everyone has everything in its light and dark. Because we are non-dual, like life is. But that connection, the duality, can let us know ourselves and each other. So, yeah. Dit was a long podcast. Dit was a long wandering. Dit was a long download. And I feel it's a really important one. And I hope really that it resonates and that you want to share this. Because this message is not really what we are believing now. A lot of people believing now. A lot of people believing that story and the identification with trauma. There's even a book written by a famous healer. You're crazy if you not have a trauma. And then I was thinking, whoa, you really make it. I don't know. You really make it yeah. You know what I mean? You make a story. You let people believe they have the trauma. And some people are not living a trauma, living their life, and they think, trauma? I'm crazy, I have not have a trauma. Do I need to have a trauma? I have a trauma? Do I have a trauma? Really? And then they go into maybe doubt, and then, yeah, there's the trauma. And yeah, we have shadows, we have things in the shadows. And our minds making trauma of it is a story. Again, okay, trauma is just a story. Please let go of that story. Feel your story. Hey, one. I'm a light. Just see it, feel it, let go. Choose different. You have that power. And pain, you can handle everything. Pain is also just a story. And pain exists, yeah. And pain is good. Pain is very healing. But don't be afraid of it. You will not go die by that pain. Yeah, okay. If you have an accident and you're in pain, that's another different pain. But you know what I mean? Yeah? So don't be afraid of life. Life is meaningless, and life is experience, and life can sometimes be challenging. But suffering is a choice. Life is meaningless. The meaning is a choice. Life can have challenging events, challenging experiences. Suffering is a choice because that depends on the meaning you give it. And that's a choice. Alright. I'm going to listen to music and sing because I'm feeling excited today. I don't know for what, but just for life. So if you want some guidance in this and do healing work in the light way, then just connect. You can see my information in the show notes or join my retreats. Look at my websites or my Hipsy account and follow me on my socials, and I will share my tools, my skills, my inspiration, my insights that are really helping me to living life to the fullest, feeling life to the fullest, and experience a lot of bliss, joy, pleasure, adventure, and also sometimes challenges, but they are also so meaningful challenges. And yes, I have a past, but I love it. So, yeah. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your time. It was a really long one, and hopefully it was an inspiring one for you. And sharing is caring.